I'm going to show you a very efficient way of making one drop-down list dependent on another, even when you've got hundreds or even thousands of items in the dependent drop-downs. If you've got very long lists of data and you want dependent drop-down lists to link together, then you need a method that doesn't rely on creating separate lists for each of the first items that have been picked. So for example here, we've got probably, I don't know what that is, maybe 20 different items, and then a huge amount of items underneath each one, depending on what you pick. In a previous video, I showed if you've got short lists that you can just create a separate list for each item that you pick in the first drop down to create your second list. But actually this isn't going to work in this case because I've got so many items in the first list. This is my overview video. I'm going to go into a massive amount of detail in a subsequent video, which may already be out. If so, links in the description or perhaps on screen somewhere. So if you need that detail, click over, go into this link. I'm going to go through this in summary, showing basically how it's done. First off, we have a fixed list 1. Now I'm just going to unhide the rows and hidden choices that we've got going on here. So we've got a fixed list 1. This list is linked to a form control directly. So assuming that this is a completely fixed list that isn't going to change, if you want to be clever, you could link it to a dynamic range or something like that. But for now, we're keeping it simple. List 1 is fixed. So we pick from list 1. That outputs to here. We then use an index match to pull back the name of the product we picked. Why are we doing that? Right. The reason we're doing that is because we are linking. We've also assigned a macro to this, which is a change macro. So whenever we select a new item on here, we've got a macro that's running. What's the macro doing? Right, we've got a pivot table. The macro is effectively filtering the pivot table. If I pick copiers and faxes, it's just picking copiers and faxes from here, and therefore it's giving us this list. That is in essence what we're doing here. Right, but there's a few more subtleties than that. So we're running this pivot table. This is a standard pivot table. It's just got the 2 items that we want in it. So we've got the filter is our first choice list, and then we output what we want to appear in the second drop down list. In order to do this, like I said, I'll just show you the macro we've assigned. We should edit that. Yeah, very simple. You could just record this, record a new macro, can't put it in this book, bookcases, okay, stop that, go in here, look at what we've recorded. You can see we got this clear all filters, which is totally unnecessary code. This is the only code that matters. We're putting the word bookcases onto the current page of the product subcategory filter on the pivot table. So if I copy that in here, the only change I've actually made is that I've changed the word bookcases in the macro to a named range. Right, what's that named range? Well, that name range is simply the product category choice, and I just named it up here. So you could just as easily link that to cell. Every time I change this, macro runs, takes that value, puts it in the filter of this pivot table, which gives you this new list here. I now need that list to populate the second drop down. I need this item count in here because unfortunately you can't, I have not found a way, you have put it in the description, in the comments I mean, of linking a name range directly to a pivot table and having it move dynamically. So I had to effectively do this manually using an offset formula. So I've counted the number of items in the pivot table, just counted down from the row title there right to the bottom of the spreadsheet. So it doesn't matter how many rows long it is. Made sure I've removed the grand total from the pivot table, so you don't get like an additional blank row, or you don't get the word grand total appearing in things. And then I've created a named range, which is effectively starts at the top of that list, moves down one, doesn't move any columns, uses long list F4, which is effectively the number of rows. So it lists the number of rows in one column. Like I say, if you don't understand any of this, go to the detailed video, go for it in a lot more detail. I just want to give you the essence of how this is achieved. So we've got our products list there, and then quite simply in this control, I just link the input range to that name range, give it an output on there. So now this is just a dynamic name range which will change depending on whatever I pick up here. How do I achieve this data? Well, the chart is just literally linked straight to that data, so that's not a problem, and I'm sure you can format that however you choose. But the way I've created the data is I've used a SUMIFS formula, SUMIFS, right? And I'm using the two criteria. The one is the product choice, the second is the customer segment. So picking up sales on the orders table, which is this data on the data sheet here. Customer segment is whatever that says. Product name is whatever that says. Similarly on the profit, we've got the same. Say as well that I've linked the title of the chart. I've just put on there, just literally go equals and linked it straight to the product, which is slightly nice. I think it's a nice touch, so that when you change the product, you've got the name of the chart changing. The other one that I think, and let's see if I can find one here, make a loss-making product. Not hard to never find. Here we go, loss-making product. You can see that down here, these are dropped down. So if I close up that pivot table, format axes, you can see that the labels are in position low, not the default would be next to axis. So position low, and then you can put the labels can be put outside end, and it won't matter because these are shown low. So that is it in a nutshell. Like I say, if you want more detail on any of that, I've got the detailed video, go and have a look, takes you through. We basically recreate this from a blank sheet, completely blank sheet, totally recreate this start to finish. I just want to give you the essence in this video because you've got high Excel skills, you might be able to dive in and achieve this in the shortest amount of time. And I'm up for saving people time wherever I can. Right, so download the template, save you more time then, won't it? You can just put your own lists in it and put your own data in. Should be able to adapt it. No problem, no details required, straight down to your computer. So I hope you enjoyed that overview. Good luck with it. If you got any queries or whatever, detailed video should be out soon. If it's not already, get those Excel skills up, task time's down. See you soon.